What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Luis Suarez poster design. It's going to be a photo manipulation, a bit like the Calvert-Lewin one, so if you didn't see that video, go check it out first. It'll make this one a lot easier. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit from, the usual sort of, complete texture posters, so it gives you something different to, watch. And I'm going to stop saying, because I've just said it about 10 times in the last 2 seconds, so sorry about that. But what I did want to say, guys, thank you so much for all the support on the Ronaldo video. You hit over 50 likes before it was even out. I really do appreciate that. That's the best support we've had on a video yet. So obviously you guys enjoyed it. Obviously it was a good, video and everything. So thank you so much for all the support. Also, thank you for all the new subscribers. We've gained about 200 in the last 28 days. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Obviously, I hope you're learning as well, because that's the main goal of this channel, just to teach all you guys my tips and tricks to making poster designs. With all that said, I'm going to stop bambling now and get straight into the video. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Let's get straight into the video. First things first, we are going to need to get the texture pack. So the texture pack will be in the link down below. Same as usual, just download it and you'll be presented with this. So first things first, we have that to turn off. And in the texture pack, we have an image of Suarez. We have some texture, which you can't see because it's turned off. Or is it on screen? It's on screen. So we've got a nice bit of texture there. And then we have images. So we have these 3 images. So one of the sky, one of Barcelona stadium, and one of a random stadium, which I have no idea where it is. It might not even be a real stadium. I don't know. So we got that. So first things first, you're gonna need to make a new document. So let's go to new document. We're gonna go to Instagram, 1080 by 1350. Click create, and now you've got your background. So first things first, we're going to go to the texture pack. We're going to get this image here of Barcelona stadium, and we are going to cut out the sky and the pitch. So the pitch it's not the right angle for the way the image is sliding in, so you've got to change the pitch a little bit to fit the image. So I did take a while to find these images, but when you're doing it yourself, you've got to just take the time to make find the assets for the right design. So let's get on with it. Add a layer mask to this. Got a layer mask. We're going to get a brush tool, soft brush. Just get a soft brush and then change our color to black. And then we're going to start painting out the sky. Go in here. Real nice. There we go. And then same again. We're just going to paint out the pitch. Now you can see how I'm doing this quite, roughly, because it is a bit rough at the first bit, because you're just going to figure out where you're going to put the other images. So go back into our texture pack now. Turn that off. Get the sky. Get the sky. Drag and drop that. And then put it below there. Now, as you can see, we've got a nice little, little bit of sunlight coming over the top of the stadium, which looks really nice. So we can layer mask out the bottom of this, get rid of the sea, because we don't want that in there. It's got nothing to do with football, really. It's just the sunlight was nice. And then we're going to get our last image, which is going to be the pitch. So we can drag and drop this in. And there we go. So you want to put this one above the Barcelona stadium, because this is where the pitch is going to be, the main bit. And then we're going to layer mask this one out as well. But obviously we need to blend it in now with the other stadium, otherwise it's not going to look right. So for now, it looks pretty good. But now we need to layer mask in a little bit of the pitch here. So now, this is where it gets a little bit technical. We're just going to go in. We are going to start painting away bits that we think shouldn't be there. Like this. Okay. Now we need to just sort of paint back in a little bit of the pitch here. A little bit here. A little bit there. Now we can make the brush even smaller and start painting away here at the back, because we don't want the stadium obviously on top of the other one. I know it looks a little bit weird at the moment. It's just sort of the shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this layer, going to get an exposure, and I'm just going to boost that up, and I'm going to clip it to the stadium. And now, as you can see, the pitch is sort of starting to blend in a little bit more. What I'm going to do now, going to just go back in, going to go to my top layer, and I'm going to move the pitch up a little bit. So like that. There we go. Perfect. So now we can see that exposure layer has blended that in, but obviously the stadium looks very blown out, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go in and just layer mask that off the top. There we go. So that's really good. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've got the background all prepared. It's all done. We need to add a little bit of color correction to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top of this. We're going to go to color balance, put that one on top. We're going to increase the reds a little bit, going to increase the blues a little bit, and then we're going to go to the shadows and do the same. And then that's that all done for the color balance. This will do an overall color balance, so it will make it all blend together better. Then we are going to go to, where are we going to go to next? We're going to go to, not a brightness and contrast, sorry. We're going to go to a curves layer. So we want a curves, and then we're going to go to a nice simple S curve like that. That looks really nice. Maybe bring this one down a little bit. That looks really good. So guys, as you can see, this has sort of brought the image together. If I turn these off, you know, now they're all similar colors, so it makes more sense. So now what we need to do, guys, is go and get our image of Suarez. So this is where the main editing is going to happen. We are going to drag and drop him in, and there we go. So as you can see, he doesn't really look part of the image at the moment, and obviously there's a good reason for that. He's not part of this image. They're all different images. So what we're going to do is going to get our brush tool, make a new layer below him, and we're going to just do some shadows. So move your brush tool in like this, get a nice little platform, you can zoom in. Make sure you have a black color selected, and then we're just going to do some shadows. Let's crack on with that. Now, you can sort of take your time with this. I'm obviously not going to spend too much time on it because I don't want to keep you guys here for ages. But you want to just make sure that you get sort of a nice gradual sort of shadowed effect. Obviously, you know where his body is. You can see where he's standing and everything. But just make sure you do it sort of nice and gradual. See, that's all right. I've done it quite quick, but on my other one it was really accurate, so around the knees and stuff. And what I am going to recommend is that you go to the layer of the image, create a new layer, and clipping mask this to him. So right click and then say enable clipping mask. Once you've got it clipped to him, you're going to go around the edges of his body, increase your opacity a little bit, and then just paint around the edges of him. Obviously, it'd be better probably if you had a soft brush, a round soft brush for this. And then you're just going to paint around the edges, because then it sort of just makes him actually blend in with the shadow that's on the floor. And it just looks a little bit more realistic. That's pretty much the only reason I've done that. But again, it makes the shadow look a little bit better. And now what we can do is we can select both of them, reduce the shadow a little bit, because we don't want it too harsh. But I think that's good for now. Again, we are going to be using a camera filter at the end, so it will bring out the colours a bit more, so you won't need to worry about how dark the shadow is. So we've got that. What I am going to do is I'm going to go back to the sunlight area. I'm going to create a new layer above this stadium here. Then I'm going to get my eyedropper tool, which is I on the keyboard. Just click where the sunlight is. And then I'm going to get a soft brush, change this layer to linear dodge add, increase the size of it, and then, oh, no, that's a bit big. Actually, we can put it below the stadium. Let's put it below. Let's get our brush tool, make it actually a little bit smaller, just the opacity a little bit more, make it nice and big, and there we go. So we've got a nice little bit of sunlight coming through now, so we can add some highlights to him. Let's create a new layer above him, clip and mask it to him, and then we're going to go to Edit, 50% grey, and we're going to overlay this on him. Now we can zoom in again, and we're going to be using the Dodge and Burn tool for this, guys. So let's get the Burn tool, so it's going to be just this one here, right click, and then it's going to be Burn tool. And then we can go with the shadows and start, bringing out the shadows a little bit more. So you can see a lot of them are already in place, which is nice because obviously you can see, I'm pointing at it on the screen in my own room, but you can see where I take my mouse. You can see under his arms, they're already shadowed from the light up above. So a lot of it's already done for you. You don't really need to do too much with it, which is really good actually, because it saves a lot of time. So you just want to make sure you darken the areas which are not going to be hitting the sunlight. So probably down here, behind him, under his arms, stuff like this, under his chin, because that's not going to get sunlight. And then you can go in where the creases are on his top, bring those out a little bit. There's not many creases on this one, which is a little bit disappointing because it does help bring the texture out. But at the end of the day, this is really a good image to fit into this design, so I'm not really too fussed. In there, short. Good. Okay guys, so you need to carry on with the burn. Make sure that you get all the veins in as well, because these are going to be important parts of the design. Just define his muscles a little bit more. It always helps really. And all the creases in his face, shadowed areas, like neck there, that's going to be shadowed. So that's all good. Now we need to move on to the highlights. So we're going to go over here again, get the dodge tool. So we've got the dodge tool now, and obviously this is going to be highlights, so just need to sort of do the opposite, I guess. Go to the highlighted areas and just go over the top of those. Pretty simple. Go over his hair as well. Obviously you want to highlight his face as well. Down the front of his shirt here is definitely going to be highlighted, because that's where the sun's going to be coming down. And here as well. It's going to look really nice. So we're going to have his arm over here as well. That looks really good. That's pretty much what you need to do, guys, with the highlights. Obviously, you can spend a little bit more time on it than I did, because, you know, I'm sort of just going through it quickly because I've already done it. I'm just trying to show you guys how to do it yourself. So we've got that done, and that's good. Okay, so let's zoom out. Now, as you can see, the Suarez image is a little bit darker than the rest of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to add an exposure layer to that. Let's go in here, add the exposure layer. Just going to boost that exposure up a little bit and that one a little bit. Then we can reduce this a little bit as well. So that's good. Now we're going to add the same color balance that we added down here, because obviously we want it to all fit together correctly. That's nice. And then we probably should add the same curves. Again, that's going to add the similar effect. I'm going to reduce this a little bit more because it's a little bit too heavy for my liking. And there we go. So it's all looking a little bit more, you know, together now. So we've added this exposure, which is quite high. We've added the curves, which is just a simple S curve. And then we don't need two curves on there. I don't know why there's two. We need the color balance. That's what we need. Add the color balance to him. There we go. Clip and mask that all to him. Okay, so now he fits in with the design a little bit more and it makes a little bit more sense. So what I did do with this image was I added a motion blur. So once you've added all your shadows and highlights, what you need to do is go to filter, then go to blur gallery, and then in there, blur, then motion blur. I've already got it here, so I'm just going to turn it on. What I did was do a 44-degree angle, 10 distance, and clicked OK. And then, as you can see down here on this white little bit of black background, I went in and layer masked out all the main bits that shouldn't be blurred, and then basically just around the edges of the image is where I made them blurred. So you'll be able to see it here. I made the edges blurred. Then if I go like white over the top here, if I increase the opacity, that goes blurred. If I increase it to black, it comes back in. So basically you want all the edges to be blurred so it looks like he's really going quick.
Oh my god! Wow!
Into the design. That looks really nice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the texture over the top of this. So let's go turn that off. Let's go to texture, get our dust particles. We're going to turn this to a screen. Then we're going to add a layer mask. Now with the layer mask, I'm going to command I to invert it. Then we're going to add little bits in as we go along. So you want to reduce your brush about 30%. And we're just going to add little bits in. Don't want to add too many in because it doesn't need loads. Just want a few, just to add a little bit of extra texture. So that's really nice. So guys, we've added pretty much everything now. There's only one more thing we need to add, which is an extra highlight. So let's go up to where Suarez is. We're going to go and add a hue and saturation. We're going to clip and mask it. I don't know what I've just done. I have no idea what I just did. So we're going to go to hue and saturation. We're going to clip and mask that to him. Colorize, brighten it up, saturation up. And then we're going to change this sort of like a light orange. And there we go. So let's go double click on that hue saturation. And then where it says blend if, what you need to do is hold Alt and drag this one along, and then you can sort of see it's adding, it takes it away, so it brings out the texture, drag the white across, there we go. So what we need to do now is go Command I on the layer mask. So make sure you watch what I'm doing, otherwise it's going to get quite complicated. And then Command I, so then it goes away, and now you can paint it back in. Now we'll just reduce the opacity a little bit, paint it all back in. You can keep it about 20. Add it on all the edges of him, like up here. There's a nice little highlight around the back of his head. There we go. Down the front, makes sense. Just like that. There we go. And just all the bits that are highlighted, you can bring it in. But like that's pretty good there. That's pretty much that, guys. Now we're just going to go into the camera or filter stage and sort of play around with this a little bit. Let's go to Command Shift Option E, make a screenshot, camera or filter. And then we're going to go to make it a bit more yellow. Bring the exposure up a little bit. Contrast we definitely want to bring up. Highlights reduced to 30. Shadows, bring these all down and up. Same as we usually do, really. Bring the texture out. Clarity up a little bit. Dehaze up a little bit. Then saturation. You can reduce this a little bit if you want. Or you can reduce the vibrance, then bring the saturation up to about 10. Curves, we're just going to do a simple S curve. Sharpening, we definitely want to sort of bring this up to about 40. That's good. Noise reduction, you can bring up a little bit. Color noise about up a little bit. And then color mixer, you can sort of just leave the same. Just want to bring it a little bit bluer, bring the orange out a little bit. Color grading, you can sort of add a nice little orange over the top of it, like that. Don't really need to do too much with that. Grain, you definitely want to add about a 20 grain, 20 to 30 grain, and then a nice little vignette. It's about -6. And we'll do a before and after. And there you go, guys. As you can see, we've created this nice little manipulation. Quite a quick video, doesn't take too long. Now, obviously the shadows could be a little bit better, a little bit more time spent on them. You can make them a lot better. If you go to my Instagram, you'll be able to see the one that I did, and it'll make a lot more sense about, you know, where I've taken the time to do it. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's not a lot to this design. Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Like I said, there'll be more of these coming in the future because I like doing them. It's a bit different and breaks up the videos from just the textury, you know, poster designs. So let me know in the comments if you have enjoyed the video. Let me know, you know, what you want to see in the future. And obviously follow me on all the socials, and I'll see you in the next video.